All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about speeches and more specifically about the fear of public speaking. And I wanted to do this class for you on speeches just as a review for you to be more ready to write your speeches. This is kind of you. This is your objective for today. You will be ready to write your speeches, and this is still your project for this semester. And yeah, so let's look into it. Let's move on. We're gonna be talking about what we call the triple P method. Now let's talk about experience. This is something that I know firsthand. I know that when it comes to speaking in front of a lot of people, the easiest part is to get on the podium, right? Now, this is when you start getting intimidated by the number of people in front of you. This is when you start try to count people. How many people are there in the audience? And this is really not good for you. You can believe me that. You can believe me, guys. I've been there and I know what I'm talking about. And this is when you start to tell yourself, well, I can do this, right? So all you need to do at this stage is focus on your notes, right? Yeah. But you know what happens next? Your mind goes blank. You try to make sense of what you have in your hand, of what is around you, and then your mind is just going completely blank. And like I'm telling you, this is something that I know firsthand. If you have experienced that too, guys, if you have been there too, just letting you know that you are not alone. Yeah. And this is something that actually happens to me all the time. And now let's talk about the triple P method. The triple P method will get you through and keep you calm during your next solo report, your next speech, and it will keep your breakfast where it belongs. So if you want to know what that means, keeping your breakfast where it belongs, that means when you are too nervous, you might feel like you want to vomit, like you want to throw up, and you might even go ahead and throw up. That means your breakfast is getting out of where it belongs. So the triple P method should be able to keep your breakfast where it belongs, guys. So let's look at it. What is it? Now let's talk about, before we get into it, we talk about what we call glossophobia. Glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. Many polls list public speaking as one of as the most commonly reported phobia among Americans, and at least 70% of the world population has an intense fear of public speaking. That is to show you that if you are one of the people who suffer from this problem, you're not alone. All right. Now, the first P is prepare extensively, because you already know it. If you know your subject backward and forward, there is no reason for you to be so nervous and then you don't know what you're doing anymore. So prepare in advance. Prepare days in advance. Know your subject very well. And you have to also know exactly how you're going to present it step by step. This is why you are allowed to use index cards where you can write down the major points, the points that you want your audience to understand, the points that you want to get across to the audience. Yeah, so this is the first P, prepare extensively. You're never too ready. And the second P is posture and physicality, or you could also say the second P is, because actually it's two P. Now it's about posture. You have to stand naturally. This is to show your audience that you know what you're doing and that you're in control and that you are calm. Because when you give your audience the impression that you're calm and then they buy this impression, they buy into it, they believe that you're calm, this is going to calm you down. You can believe me. I've tried that before and it worked. Now, what you are allowed to is go with a bottle of water. You can take a bottle of water with you up on stage, and this is not prohibited. It's a good idea to take a few sips once in a while, if you especially if you're doing a long speech. This is going to help you keep your voice natural, and this is going to give you a moment to pause and regain your composure if you need to. And this is interesting. This is something that can definitely help you remain calm. Don't be completely serious unless the occasion calls for it. But if the occasion doesn't call for it, don't be completely serious. Don't read entirely off your cards. You have to exercise eye contact. If all you do is read and you do no eye contact, you will definitely lose your audience. They will not be interested. It's all about creating connection with the audience. This is why it's allowed to throw in a few jokes once in a while. You can get your audience to laugh about something. If there is a point of silence, if for some reason there is some silence, you can turn that into a joke as well. This is what that means, to pander to your audience. Make them feel like you're kind of entertaining them, and this is gonna show them that you are a confident person. And once you get them to believe that you are confident, you will start feeling confident for real. Now let's go back to writing a. Okay, so now you might try to question these three P's, the triple P method. You can say this sounds very straightforward. Where did you get that from, Mr. Louis? But I can tell you guys, if you try to, you can believe me, if you try to implement that in your public speaking way of doing, you will find that it works. It's very simple. It looks very simple, but it's really that. It's really work. It really works. It's just about, you have to be prepared, and you have to have good posture, and then you have to be very like, you have to show your audience that you're a cool person. Be serious, but don't be too serious. Be a little bit laid back while being serious. All right, now let's get into what we said about writing an interesting speech. Don't forget, the first step was to hook your audience. In your opening paragraph, it was a good thing to try to get your audience to guess what you want to talk about. Once they start to guess, now you have their attention. And once you have their attention, your stress will start to go away. And then to start your first body paragraph, it's interesting to come up with some personal experience. Remember, back in the class, the video that we watched in class, the little boy was talking about something that he knew firsthand. And this again is going to keep the attention of the audience. And for your still for your body paragraphs, I don't know how many body paragraphs you're going to have. Maybe not more than 3. But for body paragraphs, it's a good thing to come up with facts and statistics. This is showing that you are not just speaking for speaking, and this is going to give you things to talk about. And the fact that you are presenting facts and statistics is going to make you even more confident in your speech. And well, you should not forget to point out the negative effect of the issue that you're talking about. Your premise, the reason that you're writing that you wrote your speech. You want to point out the problems. Why is it a problem? The negative effects, the negative impact. Talk about them. And then you come up with a few potential elements of solution. You tell your audience what you're expecting them to do. You call for action. Again, this is going to make you feel more confident because you're not just writing a speech, you're not just writing lines, just speaking for nothing. You're calling them for action. You are getting them to understand the problem and that it's a serious problem, and that it's time to act, to do something about it. And to tie, to close your speech, and like we said, to close your speech, it's a good thing to tie it back to your opening paragraph. Your closing has to be tied to your premise and your opening paragraph. This is gonna make you look like a pro. And this is going to, so what you're trying to do, what you have to have in mind is you're trying to convince your audience that this is a problem. Yeah, and I think that was pretty much it about the fear of public speaking and uh, writing a speech. So the problem is, you will not be able to come in class and present your speech. You will not be able to use the podium like we were looking forward to. So what you're gonna be doing is doing videos of you delivering your speech. You're going to submit videos of you doing your speech. You can use your phones to do it. And again, maybe not more than 5 minutes. Not if I have a 3 minute speech, it's okay. What I need is the written version of your speech, and then the video version of your speech. And yeah, you're gonna make it, guys. Let's do that. And thank you. Class is over.